Hi guys, today I'm gonna show you how to make this very cute drawstring bag that has tassels, and I used a t-shirt yarn in order to make this drawstring bag, and I'm gonna show you step by step on how to make it. It's very easy. It's a summer bag, and I'm sure you will all love it. So if you don't like the drawstring bag, no problem, you can actually do another style, and you don't have to make it like a drawstring, but you can just flatten it like this. So after making it flat, I'm sorry, and then this is what it looks like, and just add some straps, and there you go, and a zipper as well. And make sure that the tassels are even. So I'm kind of having a hard time making the tassels even, and since the tassels are printed, um, it looks like a mess in the video, but it actually looks good um, when you see it personally. And as you can see, the bottom is black. If I had a lot of yarns, this will all be black, but I didn't have enough, so yes. And then after adding some zipper, and you can just use the chain to hold your bag, or you can make a strap in case you would like to see some more ideas. I have made a few bags in my past videos, and you can check back on them. I also showed how to make the lining for different kinds of bags, so in this video I'm not going to show how to make the lining. You can just check back on those videos that I showed you, because you'll be able to see there how I did the lining. So it actually looks good being this flat, and you can just add some lock and or zipper, and that's it. You have your summer bag. So for this project, I'm using a 7mm bamboo crochet hook, and I'm using a t-shirt yarn I bought from Artsy String Fiber Crafts. And as you can see on the right side, there's the print, but when I stretch it, it rolls inside. So I think the only color that's going to show is the black color, and it's not going to show the print, but it's okay. It doesn't matter. I like the black color. I like the solid one, so I guess I'm going to start by working a magic ring. I am going to work in circles. So I'm going to start by making a magic circle and then chain one. I'm going to work 6 single crochets. I'm sorry, 6 single crochets in the magic ring. So yeah. Once you have your 6 single crochets in the magic ring, 1 2 3 4 5 6, I'm so sorry, the color is black. Maybe you might not be able to see it, but I have 6 single crochets in the ring. And then I'm going to work in rounds, not slip stitching. So on the very first single crochet, I'm going to work my increase. So I'm going to work 2 single crochets in the magic ring. So in order for you to know where do you end your last stitch, you can add the stitch marker right here. So this is the start of this stitch on this round. So when we get back, so 2 single crochets in every stitch. So this would be the last stitch wherein you're gonna work 2 single crochets. So 2 single crochets in every stitch. So at the end you're gonna have 12 single crochets. So I don't want to show the print, so maybe I'll roll them like this so it won't show the print. And then I'm going to work 2 single crochets in every stitch. Once you get to your last stitch, you have there now 2 single crochets, and we're done with round 2. Round 3, we're going to work 1 single crochet in the first stitch of this round. Do not forget to add your stitch marker, especially when you are increasing in a specific round. So you must be able to add this one so you'd know where to end the last stitch. So next is 2 single crochets. Now I see here there's a stitch and it's easy to rip, so this is what I do. I usually join them first by working or maybe inserting the hook into the next stitch, grab the yarn and then tie it at the back. So this is how I join 2 yarns, and then yarn over and you have your single crochet. So you're going to work 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets in the next, 1 single crochet in the next, and then 2 single crochets in the next. So we're going to alternate 1 single crochet and 2 single crochets in the next. So we're going to just repeat this pattern until we get back here, until we get to this last stitch. So round 4 is we're going to work 1 single crochet on the first stitch, and do not forget to add your stitch marker. And then on the next stitch you're going to work 1 more single crochet, and on every 3rd stitch of this round you're going to work an increase, which is 2 single crochet. So on every 3rd stitch of this round only, you're going to work an increase. So 1 single crochet here, 1 single crochet in the next, and on every third 2 single crochets. So keep repeating that until you get to the last stitch, and the last stitch should have 2 single crochets, or your last increase. For round 5, so the increase would be in every 4th stitch. So this is my first single crochet, and then I'm gonna work 1 single crochet in the next, 1 single crochet in the next. So I am making sure that the print isn't showing, so that everything will be a solid black color. Okay, and on the 4th stitch, I'm gonna work my increase, 2 single crochets on every 4th stitch of this round only. So the last stitch would be an increase as well. So just keep on working an increase or 2 single crochets on every 4th stitch of this round only. For round 6, the increase will be on every 5th stitch of this round. So I'm doing my first single crochet, but there's a join here, so I'm just going to remove that and work a before I continue my first stitch. I'm just gonna tie them at the back to secure. And then work my first single crochet. So you will know your first single crochet of the round because the last stitch would be an increase of the previous round. So when you count the round, because you know there's no join here and we're working in rounds. Now for you to know how many rounds have you already made, you count from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have round 5, and now we're starting round 6. So this is our first single crochet, and then you can bury the tails while you go, and working a single crochet in the first 4, and then the increase will be on every 5th stitch, which is here, and that's what you're gonna do around. For this round, you're going to work an increase on every 5th stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After round 6, I think I'm gonna make a small pouch bag, and because I don't have enough black yarn, maybe I'll just stop increasing until round 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now if you plan to increase the size of this circle, so the next round would be an increase on every 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th, on every 6th stitch. So that's how you increase as you progress to another round. You're just going to add the number of individual stitches, and then that's where you're going to add the increase. So you're going to make an increase until you get to the size of the flat circle that you like, because once you stop increasing, it's gonna go up like a glass. And since I'm going to make a small pouch, I'm going to stop increasing on this round, so it will form like a cylinder. And the size of this circle is about 15 centimeters. And from here on, so round 7, I'm just gonna work 1 single crochet in every stitch until I get to the height of the pouch that I like. And then at the end, after I do those rounds, I'm gonna tell you how many rounds I have made. I made about 10 rows of 1 single crochet in every stitch, and since I ran out of black yarn, which was supposed to be the plan, but I didn't have enough yarn, so I just used a color that is lighter than the black one. And then for the last row, I chose to chain 1 and 1 single crochet so that the edge will be even, unlike when you're working in rounds. So with the last round, just chain 1 and 1 single crochet in the same stitch, so that when you get back, you can just simply slip stitch. And since I am changing the color, I'm going to cut this one first and then insert the new color of yarn, which is the printed one. So if this was black, it could have been much better, because I only want, you know, just a few colors on my project. But since anyway, it's okay. So I'm going to insert this new color here. Make sure that the wrong side isn't showing. This is really tough because it's not the same as the t-shirt yarn that you may have. So after inserting it, and then I'm going to tie it at the back, both tails. Maybe I'll double knot it. And then I'm gonna start working chain 1 first. Chain 1. And then 1 single crochet in the same stitch. And then 1 single crochet in every stitch. So it's just the same thing. And I'm gonna work maybe a few more rows of this one, probably 2 or 3 rows of different colors. And then maybe on the next round, I'm going to just work on the back loop so that I can have the front loops, so that I can insert my tassel in there. Alright, so once you get to the last stitch, I'm gonna make a slip stitch on the first single crochet and then chain 1, single crochet in the same stitch, but this time instead of catching both loops, I'm gonna catch just the back loop only, and then work my first single crochet, and then I'm gonna do the same in the next. On back loop only, I'm gonna work the my next single crochet, and then I will continue working on back loops only, one single crochet in every stitch until I get back here. Okay, so I'm back to the first single crochet, in which I'm going to work a slip stitch, catching both loops, and then I'm gonna start working 2 more rows of one single crochet in every stitch. So I'm gonna work 2 more rounds of one single crochet in every stitch. I am on my 4th row or 4th round, and on this round I added a D-ring so that I can attach the hook for the strap of this, drawstring bag. And then this is how I attach it. You're just going to work a single crochet around the D-ring. So I did 2 single crochets. So this is my first here, and then I'm gonna add another again in the next stitch, 1 single crochet, and then it's kind of difficult to and then that's it, and then continue working. So I did 2 single crochets but in each stitch, and then this ring is inserted, and so when I fold this one like this is where I will add the strap. It will fold like this, and then I will add the string to keep them like this when it's closed, and then I'll just continue working 1 single crochet in every stitch until I get back around. So I made it back around, and I'm going to work a slip stitch and fasten off. Now if you'd like to make your edges better, you can just work a slip stitch around if you'd like, but since I do not have a lot of yarns and I'm going to use a couple of more for the tassels, so I'm going to skip that part, and I'm just going to fasten off. When you get to the last step, which is adding the tassels, just try to check first how long you want your tassels to be. So do not stretch it yet. So if you'd like this length, so it's covering the gray part, so you can just add the tassels and measure the length unstretched, and maybe add some more for the knot, because you're going to tie a knot right there. There should be an allowance. And then, so you're going to do a swatch first and measure the length so that when you cut another, you'll know how long you need in order to attach it one by one. So the length of this one is 27 centimeters. And then I'm going to fold it this way. And then I'm going to attach it on the front loop. Just like that. And that's it. So this is the length I want. It's not showing the gray area. But if I had a lot of black yarns, I would have put just plain black because I just want a few colors on my bag. Yeah. So I'm gonna cut another 27 centimeters until I fill this area with tassels around. This is what it looks like now after adding a few tassels on the front and on the back. But if this was, black, I will not add any more tassels. But since it's a different color, so I'm gonna fill this with tassels as well. But if yours is black, I think it would do good if you're gonna skip adding tassels on both sides, here and here. So, but in my case, I'm gonna add a few more to fill all these gaps. Here I'm adding my last tassel, and there you go. I already have the pouch bag with tassels around, and the next step is I'm going to add a string to make it a drawstring pouch. I'm so sorry the camera is too close because I also want you to look what's inside, and yeah, so far I like the design. Next step is I'm gonna make a string because this is gonna be a drawstring bag, as you can see. And so I'm gonna cut another long yarn, and since this is wide enough, I can just fold it right sides facing each other, and then I'm going to sew the edges right here, and then I'm gonna flip over, and maybe I'll add some cord just to make this thicker. By the way, I am still using the portable sewing machine that I bought last year, and it's still working for some people who are asking about if it's still working. Thank God it's still working, but I'm not gonna guarantee that it's gonna work forever because first of all, it's unbranded, so my expectations are really low for this sewing machine. But luckily, up until now, I can still use it. So far I do not have any issues with it. So, and make sure that if you're using the same machine, make sure that you follow the guide well, and hopefully this will last longer than 1 year. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to sew these, and I'll show you later the finished product. Okay, and I am almost done with sewing the string for my drawstring pouch, and I usually hold it this way because the fabric is a bit stretchy. It's a t-shirt yarn, obviously, so I'm going to sew it right now. You can use pins if you couldn't hold it. So I'm just, you know. It says in the manual that when you're doing a different stitch pattern like zigzag, you don't need to do the reverse stitch. So I don't do it, but yeah, you can do it if you want to. Okay. Okay. And for those who are asking about the reverse stitch, so this is the reverse stitch. You can just press it when you're almost near the seam, and then after that, for example, you're almost at the end of sewing this piece, so you press the reverse stitch so that it will go back, and then press the foot pedal so that it will keep on running, and that will lock the stitch. The next step is I'm going to flip this over. Also, if you don't have a thread stand, I usually put this in jar so that it will not move a lot. To keep it in place, you can just do that, and then you thread it. There's no way to refill the spool, so you can use either the small ones that you could, you know, put in here, or use a bigger thread. For this kind of brand, if you're in the Philippines, I suggest that you use a branded thread, because I've used the one that you can buy in a cheap store, yung change. We call it change here, and unfortunately it's making a very noisy sound, which is not good, especially for this machine. So yeah, you should use the branded ones. This is what it looks like after flipping it over, and I'm gonna attach it here. Okay, so this is how I inserted it, and I'm going to insert it right here. And then here. And then in the middle where the two strings meet. So I'll try to pull those two strings, and then it would close. So, and then I'm gonna tie a ribbon like that, and then maybe add some, maybe sew this end, and then I'm gonna add some chains so that I can carry this like a shoulder bag. Anyway, thank you guys for watching the video, and to all my subscribers, thank you so much for always watching the video and giving good feedbacks. And if you're new to my channel, you can subscribe for more updates on the bags, or of my previous project, of my next projects that I'm gonna make. And thank you so much.